We knew it was coming, well, sort of, and now it's official. Xbox Live Gold is dead. Xbox Live Gold, one of the core staples of the Xbox platform. It was sort of a pioneering thing, Xbox Live in itself, and then paying for Gold was just sort of a rite of passage, if you will, but you had to pay your $9.99 a month or whatever you kind of deal you found and played online. But Xbox Live Gold, after about 2 decades, is officially going away on September 1st, thanks to a leak that will likely be confirmed this week. And so let's just dive into the details. So Xbox Live Gold is going away, and in favor, it looks like Microsoft will be introducing a new entry-level tier, and Game Pass is getting the branding. So Xbox Live Gold is going away. We saw this sort of starting to happen when Microsoft was transitioning away from Xbox Live to starting to call things Xbox Network, and now the details are starting to materialize. So instead of Xbox Live Gold, Microsoft is going to introduce a new entry-level tier called Xbox Live Core. It is effectively the same thing. However, there are some additional benefits to it, which we'll get here into in a second. But as you can see on the screen here, it looks like, hey, this is the new SKU lineup for Microsoft starting September 1st. Also, Games with Gold, which is really, honestly, let's just be honest, been dwindling into not much lately, is also going to be going away. So Game Pass getting elevated, and now we're going to start to see this new core entry-level tier. The one thing that's worth paying attention to is that Microsoft is actually going to be including some games in the core model. I think that this lineup gets a little bit confusing because then you have core, then you have console, and Microsoft's going to have to do some market education here. Really trying to get people to go from core and console and really what the difference is, and then seeing if they can get them to ultimate. But either way, Microsoft's going to start including, it looks like 25 games within core, and so you're going to see things like Doom Eternal, some Fable, some Fallout, some other core titles. Maybe that's where they got the name from, of the Microsoft platform, including some Halo titles that would be included, but you're not going to get that day and date for new games. So once Microsoft closes its new Activision acquisition, which we'll learn more here about in the coming week, those titles would not be available on the core platform day and date. So you probably have to wait, and Microsoft will make a big deal about the day and date and trying to get you to move into that core and ultimate SKUs. Now, the naming I actually think makes sense, right? Getting rid of Xbox Live Gold, just because it's been such a legacy thing at this point. Why stick around? Microsoft wants Game Pass, and again, they tell us time and time again, keep in mind, judge us by our subscriptions, not by our console sales. And so unifying everything under the Game Pass branding, which I think at this point is probably a stronger branding than Xbox Live. I think because Microsoft has done such a good job promoting Game Pass and the value that it brings to the table, that it is a smart move. However, Microsoft has to be very careful because Xbox Live Gold was bringing in a non-zero sum of money, right? There were decades of people signing up for that platform, continuing to pay for it, and they can't just turn it off. They can't just say, nope, we're just going to get rid of Gold or migrate everybody to a new SKU, because that would have to get them to effectively approve that transaction. And so by going to the core name, they can really just kind of start to roll people into this. And it doesn't feel like it's too much of a backhanded move. This feels like a sort of natural progression again. So with Xbox Live Gold going away, I'm assuming Xbox Live Silver, which was the free tier, just kind of like the basic entry-level account, is also completely gone as well in this new modeling. And I understand, like, looking at this again, this is relatively new information. I understand why they have to have the core, console, PC, and ultimate. They're going to have to... It's going to get a little tricky here because I think from a parenting perspective, it's like, oh, my son wants Game Pass. Well, do I buy core or console? I don't really know the difference. Yeah, Microsoft will do some line item comparisons and analysis. But maybe potentially this also helps explain why Microsoft did the price increase. Remember, the price increase went live in July, where they raised everything about $1, except the Ultimate went up $2. And so maybe that helps to differentiate that core and console, and maybe part of Microsoft's plan here very well could be that now that it's only $1 difference, people, maybe they're trying to, dangle that good, better, best scenario, as we call it in the business world. So you have good, which is core, but you have better, which is usually what most consumers will typically buy, which would now be the console. And so they're thinking, man, look, we can get an extra $1 from all of those millions of subscribers, which I would assume would be in the millions, and that adds up on a monthly basis. And so maybe that is some of the logic that is going through Microsoft's mind as they try to do this. So this will all take place starting on September 1st. So 7 weeks from now. I'd say about 7 weeks, something like that, before this starts to roll out. But again, that means that this is in place for the pivotal upcoming holiday shopping season. So Microsoft will have better marketing clarity and messaging going forward. Now, the other thing that becomes a little bit interesting in here is on the PC side, because the PC side actually is a little bit better of a value. Yes, there's fewer games, and then maybe that's where Microsoft is like saying, look, if you have a PC and a console, Ultimate is the way to go. It obviously starts to value add up. The other thing that's worth mentioning too is that Microsoft is actually ending the family plan. Remember the family plan that was floating around that Microsoft was trying? They've officially said, hey, we're winding that down. Now, is that tied to what is going on here? There's a couple different thoughts about that. If you think about it, one, Microsoft is about to close a $70 billion transaction. Having a family plan, while it is helpful for families, it's not helpful for Microsoft's bottom line. Clearly, there was maybe not good market feedback from markets where they were trialing it, but they are ending that program. And again, it could be related to the rollout of this. Maybe we will see a new family plan rollout. I can't imagine that they would roll out something new like on the heels of this, because if why have the one program that's not even worldwide yet and then unwind it, then rewind up it up and try to generate that marketing messaging, which is expensive. Marketing is very expensive for educating the consumer. And so yeah, there's no family plan anymore. And maybe that starts to clean things up, and Microsoft said, hey, when we put it all here, it's like core, console, PC, Ultimate, and family, and then it just got too diluted, and they're like, screw it, we're just going to go back to everybody can pay for it themselves. Not the most consumer-friendly thing, but at the end of the day, Microsoft has to justify somehow paying for Activision. And so a better value for you isn't necessarily better value for Microsoft at the end of the day. Maybe they actually just saw the average selling price was actually dropping because so many people were taking it up and canceling individual plans that it just didn't make a lot of sense. So this is honestly pretty big news. Xbox Live Gold has been a huge core part of just the Xbox experience, the Xbox branding, the Xbox naming. And so to officially, close the book on that chapter is a milestone for Xbox. I mean, I would continue to say that Xbox Live is is the best online experience. It does better than Sony. It's way better than what Nintendo does. And so, it's just sort of a milestone, right? I think a lot of people listening to this have more than a decade locked into Xbox Live Gold. I can't remember exactly how many years I've been paying for it, but it's close to that upper limit of how long it's been in existence. And so, yeah, certainly the end of the era. I expect that probably by the time a lot of you are watching this, that this has become officially announced. But either way, if you're watching this late on the Sunday when I'm recording it, say goodbye to Xbox Live Gold. Say hello to Xbox Game Pass Core. And as always, my friends, make sure to keep it subscribed here, because the only BS on this channel is me.